At the very core of how any company gets paid, that whole order-to-cash cycle, lies something called customer master data. Getting this stuff right is absolutely crucial, but getting it wrong, well, that can lead to some serious financial chaos. Today, we're going to dig into why this data is so important and how you can actually govern it effectively.
So let's start with a really simple question. What's the real cost of a typo? I mean, think about it. A single wrong digit in an address, maybe a misplaced comma in a credit limit. It sounds so minor, right? But these tiny little errors can set off a massive chain reaction of problems that cost you real time. And, you guessed it, real money.
All right, first up, let's talk about the manual data problem. This is where we're going to see how those small, seemingly innocent mistakes can spiral into huge headaches for the business.
So, what's the real issue here? It's all about manual customer creation. I mean, just picture it for a second. A salesperson fires off a quick email with some new customer details, or maybe someone fills out a PDF form, but whoops, they miss a few fields. This kind of unstructured process is basically a perfect breeding ground for human error.
And look, we're not talking about small stuff here. This is the critical information you need to get paid. An incorrect billing address, the wrong tax status, inaccurate payment terms. Each one of these is like a little landmine just waiting to go off in your financial process.
And boom, there's the first consequence. A wrong address or a bad contact name means the invoice goes to the wrong place or the wrong person. And what's the immediate result? The clock on that payment hasn't even started ticking, and you're already falling behind.
And it just snowballs from there. If you've put in the wrong payment terms or an incorrect credit limit, you're literally creating disputes before a conversation can even happen. The expectations don't match, and now your team is stuck arguing about the details instead of actually collecting cash.
And all of this, ultimately, leads to one place: a collections nightmare. Those delayed bills and constant disputes mean that one simple typo from way back at the beginning has just put a chokehold on your company's cash flow.
Okay, so how do we actually fix this mess? We've got to stop firefighting and start preventing the fires in the first place. And that brings us to automating customer creation. It's all about building a solid foundation of clean data right from the get-go.
An automated process really stands on three key pillars. First, using structured templates. Second, doing real-time data verification. And third, having automatic duplicate detection. Let's break each one down.
First up, we've got to get rid of those messy emails and half-filled out forms. Structured templates make sure that every single required field is filled out and filled out correctly before that record can even be submitted. No more missing tax IDs or incomplete addresses, period.
Now, step 2 adds this awesome layer of intelligence on top. The system doesn't just check if a field is filled in, it actually checks if the data is valid. It can verify that a tax number is in the right format, or that a shipping address is a real place. It catches those errors before they ever become a real problem.
And step 3, this one tackles that age-old problem: customer duplicates. An automated system can scan for similar names or addresses and flag a potential duplicate before it's even created. This is how you make sure you have just one master record for each customer, that single source of truth everyone's always talking about. But listen, creating clean data is really just the beginning. Data is always changing, right? So our next section, governing data updates, is all about keeping that data accurate over time with controlled, automated workflows.
The whole idea here is simple, really. You can't just have someone changing a customer's credit limit on a whim, right? Every single change has to be routed through a formal, role-based approval process. That's how you ensure control and accountability.
Okay, let's walk through a quick example to see how this works. Let's say a sales rep wants to increase a customer's credit limit. The moment they submit that change, the system automatically kicks off an approval request. The important thing is, the change doesn't go live yet.
So then that request gets routed directly to the person who actually has the authority to approve it, someone like a credit manager. They get a notification, they can review the request, and they can either approve or reject it, all right there in the system. And only after that authorized manager gives the official green light is the customer master record actually updated in your system. It's like a security gate, stopping bad or unauthorized changes from ever messing up your data. And of course, you need to prove these controls are working, especially when the auditors come knocking. That's where the system relies on a detailed automatic audit log that tracks every single change that's made. So this is what that audit log actually looks like. You can see exactly what field was changed, like the credit limit. You can see who changed it, A. Smith in this case, what the old and new values were, and a precise timestamp. You get this transparent, totally bulletproof record for compliance.
All right, let's pull all of this together. We've talked about automating how data is created and governing how it's updated. In this final section, we'll see how this whole controlled process becomes the foundation for business success, and see how all this turns clean data into real, tangible business value.
You know, this quote from the source material just nails it. This isn't just some IT problem or a data entry task. Having accurate and well-governed customer data is what strengthens every single step of your order-to-cash process.
So what's the real impact on the business? Well, with correct customer data, orders just flow smoothly. That leads to accurate invoicing, and that in turn makes for timely collections and efficient cash application. It really is a strong foundation for every financial transaction you have.
When you boil it all down, you're looking at two completely different realities. On one side, you have the manual process, which just leads to data chaos, constant reactive firefighting, and revenue leaking out. On the other side, automated governance gives you data control, proactive management, and real financial integrity. I mean, the choice is pretty stark, isn't it?
And that leaves us with one last, really important question you should be asking yourself. Take a hard look at your own processes. Right now, is your customer data an asset that's driving your business forward, or is it actually a liability, quietly causing all sorts of problems just beneath the surface?